something like that, then you might see paiN keep this up here. We'll find out a bit though.
Yep, that bit is quite right now. As we're finally onto the Rift, as mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, it's Furia Esports against paiN Gaming on the beautiful Sunday night, afternoon, or morning, whatever it is for you. paiN in blue, Furia in red, fairly fitting colors. And we're off to a good start with a simple, old school 5-point defense, and no one going for any cheese.
Yeah, nothing yet, right? It looks like they're kind of hiding Redbird behind that bit of terrain up top side. What you're looking for is you want numbers upside. Oh, here we go. Damage. He just goes to the hook. It's going to be paiN with the first one? No way. Come on.
No way.
What?
So, I was expecting nothing to go on, so I tapped out to check the stats real quick, and I get my eyes back on the screen, and paiN has first blood. I mean, okay, they keep their 100% first blood rate. Yes, my God, 4 games in a row they grabbed that first kill. But what the hell was that? I wasn't even paying attention. How do they get that onto the Viego of all characters as well?
So it was a great little collapse there. You saw damage walk up from that jungle entrance just south of the mid lane there, where support lines up normally, and he just walked in the mid lane. He just hooked Envy, like just flat out hooked him. Envy didn't even walk away all that much, and yeah, Karaoke collapsed in there as well and took a bunch of damage from Donkato, and yeah, he just went down almost instantly. I can't believe they get away with it. It's nuts, man. Like,
neither do I.
It's so easy. I don't know, but they make it look easy anyway. I'm sure it's very difficult, but I know Envy at least is probably kicking himself a little. That feels super bad to give that up.
Absolutely. I mean, that's something you don't want to do, right? At least they didn't burn a flash or anything along the lines. They got the ignite from damage as well, so the paiN bot lane starting off with a little bit of a summoner disadvantage, but other than that, there's not much of positive you can take away from this for Furia. But for now, well, they get at least the early level 2 spike on the bot lane. They can push a little bit harder there, and other than that, we'll start into a fairly normal game. The only guy we need to have an eye on now is the Viego, because he's starting out with an additional longsword in the jungle, and that's got to be good for something.
Oh, it's going to be really good for something. One thing I have not confirmed this, but I'm pretty sure that the Viego started W. I have no way to prove that, but I think he must have to be able to chain CC Envy that long, because there's no one else in that fight that would have the CC to lock him down. It's just the hook from Nautilus and then the passive root on the auto, but Envy was standing still a little bit longer. So I'm trying to figure out the clear here for Karaoke, and what I'm looking at is that it's a little bit slower than Rangers. So I think he might have had to start W, and that's going to slow down that first camp take for him, and he might be about a half camp behind. But I mean, Lithy, he got first blood, so you know what? He's probably fine.
No, Viego actually cleared the camp more than Xin Zhao, and he's already onto the enemy jungle with the Scuttle Crab. So that longsword is giving him an insane advantage on the clear speed, even if you had to start with the W instead of the usual Q you go for. And he is going to get so much additional gold from stealing this Krog camp, and he's going to go for an early level 4 top lane gank. And we have Ranger hovering around the mid lane, but they can't really find the angle on this Syndra currently. But he might go for bot lane. He's going to be very sad to notice that there is not a single camp left, though.
Yeah. What is that blue ward? Oh, man.
That is questionable at
best.
That's
a CBLOL ward right there. That does not make any sense. I don't even know what you're looking at that point.
Ranger stepping out. There's the hook coming in, and damage a little bit overextended. Needs to flash out immediately, but the damage is still high. They don't get the ignite on him late enough to take him down. Redbird used that one earlier on, and damage getting away with 10 HP. But that is going to be good enough for Furia to just push in the spot lane. And X-Men, this is a little bit of a deja vu. I remember Netuno and Redbird pushing in this hard on the early game, getting a kill or two out of it, and then being completely steamrolled once the jungler came to the bot side, which is, by the way, happening right now. And this time around, they seem to have learned from their mistakes, man.
They seem to have learned quite a bit, I will say. Yeah. One thing that's helping him out, Damage has the glacial augment. That means he has inspiration primaries, which means he probably has biscuits, which means he probably gets quite a bit of healing from those potions that he is chugging here. Um, so he gets a lot of bonus health there. But yeah, I think he's able to stay in lane. We'll see if he takes the reset after they push this lane out. Um, I think he probably should. I'm not sure how much gold Trigo has in hand, so they might reset to get. Yeah, they're going to reset together and just crash that wave out. But it's almost like Fury could have kept up the pressure on the bot lane a little bit there. But I think you're taking the reset for an item for Netsuno. You get that pickaxe. That's a pretty big spike for you.
Absolutely. I mean, you can do a lot more damage, and last hitting is going to be easier. Not that these guys are struggling with last hitting at all, but overall, those fights definitely going a little bit more in favor of the Jinx now. I mean, you have the base attack speed of the cannon, you have a good chunk of range on the rocket launcher. Jinx is just fairly decent all around in the early game as well. So we'll see how the trades go. On the other side, of course, Trigo with the Noon Quiver. He's equally well equipped to deal with a feisty 80 carry on the other side, but the important part right now, we saw Dinquedo go for a little bit of a deep pink ward and ran into Redbird in the process, so he was able to clear that one out immediately. And kind of snowballing off of that, Furia going for the first Drake of the game, and maybe
Yep.
even a top lane dive. And the Tryndamere just hit level 6. They got to burst him down fast to proc his ult, but they don't even get that. Need to pull back. The needlework already used as well. Weiser can follow this one up, and Dinquedo roaming top gets nothing, wastes a whole bunch of time, and has to recall.
It's a great look there from paiN Gaming to go for this dive. They're not going to get too much more for it than plates, but an even better read is Furia going for this first dragon. I guarantee you, Lithy, that was the fastest first dragon in CBLOL so far this
Mm-hmm.
split. I would bet my house on it. That was a 6-minute, 28-second first dragon take. You don't see anything like that in this league, and it was just such a good look. I mean, you have so many enemy champions up topside that you have tracking of. Just take the freaking dragon, Lithy, you know? It's like, it seems so simple. Like, this is what you would tell someone who's in bronze if you're coaching them. And, you know, if you see the enemy jungler up top side, take his camps bot side, take the dragon, gank bot side, you know, make something happen across the map. And that's exactly what they do. They get a bunch of value for it. And critically, paiN Gaming don't get too much for their dive topside.
Absolutely. They lose a whole bunch, and Furia punishes them for having that jungler topside in the shape of Ranger, stealing the enemy red buff as well. So a little bit of a hit towards Karyuk, but overall, X-Men, are we getting another LCK style game here? Is this kind of the curse we both carry with us from now on in CBLOL? Every game that we cast is going to go to 20 minutes with less than 5 kills.
Maybe. I mean, apart from that first blood, it's been pretty dry so far, and paiN had to get the first blood, right? I mean, it's just what they do. But yeah, still looking for that second kill. Maybe we have cursed the league. I don't know if I'd call it a curse though. This is a much better style of League of Legends, I will say, than the one they've been playing. So I'm happy to see this personally. Ranger over the wall.
Oh, Ranger. Wind turns
Ooh.
lightning as he goes in. The old proc immediately. But Karyuk following up there. He wants to go in there. The scan of the week comes out.
Ooh.
There is the show of force from Dinquedo. Nukes the Xin Zhao as soon as the ult runs out. But they managed to trade one back. It's a jungler for a jungler. And Envy still fairly healthy. So no chance on pushing in this mid lane. It's an equal exchange here on the mid lane.
Damage almost caught sight of Redbird there on the back end, was able to almost hook him there. So that was a close one. I think you could probably take Redbird down, but you get the damage reduction on the Leona, so maybe not. But yeah, that's a little bit more familiar to CBLOL and that we're used to there. But still just the 3 kills at 9 minutes. You know, normally we're at like 14 kills on 9 minutes or something. So we're still trucking here, folks. We're at maybe like an LEC level or something like that. I don't know. And we are doing just fine. It's tier 2 boots for Netsuno. And on the flip side, Trigo's got the Noon Quiver with the pickaxe. So I really like the build from Netsuno, like the pathing there. Jinx gets excited, gets like 500 movement speed with this build or something like that. And that's super strong in these team fights. You can see from the team and their actions so far, they're playing for the spot side, they're playing for the dragons. So I really like their chances of winning these team fights, these skirmishes around the objective.
Yeah, and speaking about objectives, more or less the fastest dragon in the CBLOL so far, and super early Herald as well, a sub 10-minute Herald.
Yeah.
That is impressive. And paiN seems to be getting this one for free because Ranger is very busy with his red buff. I'm not sure if they're actually expecting Carriok to be there, so that one gets picked up without contestation. And the big question now then is, what does paiN Gaming do with his Herald? I mean, I'd love talking about how you want to run a first Herald into a mid lane turret against the Victor to kind of make space for that tier 1 turret to die, so you can actually push in the mid wave before Victor gets to wave clearing with his upgraded laser. But that still remains. I mean, you can also funnel a lot of plating gold into the Aphelios, right?
You sure can. Karaoke up top side. Looking to make FMB's day a little bit harder here.
Yeah, it's still a Tryndamere with every single summoner in the book available. Carriok doesn't even land his stun, so FMB gonna be fine here for the moment. But you can see that jungle pressure, 2 ganks so far topside, paying off in the shape of 20 CS lead. Well, the Solar Flare going in bot line. I have no idea what Redbird was planning with that one, but it
Oh.
didn't even connect properly. But they have Ranger around, so maybe with the next mini wave they can dive a little bit. But oh, there's the Herald. Answer
Yep.
the engage on the bot lane. Never mind. That is damage knocked up. They are going in. The damage from Netuno doesn't quite land because the Death Rocket goes far. Leona actually dies to the damage from Trigo. Here comes Ninquedo with the teleport in. Has a lot of damage for a Ranger. And that Xin is surely gonna die. 2 paiN kills picked up right here as finally Envy arrives on the bot lane. But in the meantime, paiN also gaining advantages on the top side. They are winning across the map here, Axeman.
They really are. FMB is beside himself top lane up there. Netsuno and Envy looking for Donkato's out of mana. Yeah, he'll be just fine. But yeah, plays unfolding across the map for paiN Gaming and everything coming up for them. Here's that replay. Damage waiting behind the wall. Walks up, gonna eat the Ranger Redbird combo there. Lots of CC coming out, but remember, it's the Nautilus, folks. He's a tanky boy. Redbird's gonna take one too many turret shots there. Trigo finishes him off. Netsuno trying to catch him out with the electrostatic skill shot. I don't know what that ability's called. Ranger goes down to the ultimate from Donkato, and Donkato's out of man on the back end of that fight. He's gonna get out safely though. So yeah, it's a nice double kill for Donkato on that fight. Damage comes up to 3 assists on the fight as well. So very strong mid laner and a strong front line here in the Nautilus too.
Absolutely. I mean, 3 assists. Nautilus so far not having died yet. So damage doing a good job so far. Redbird, we saw him last week already being insanely aggressive on that Leona, and sometimes to his detriment. In this case, I guess he gets out with a black eye and equal exchange, so to say. But Furia gets to follow up with another Drake. That's 12 minutes in 2 Drakes for Furia already, and it's gonna be a Hextech Soul. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh yeah, very interesting. I always like this this soul in particular because it changes the map, gives you the Hextech gates, and I really
Flash
like
Solar Flare. They're going hard. Beautiful scatter of the week, but Envy is still on that with the gravity field as well as the Chaos Storm. Beautiful pickup here on the mid lane. The roams from Redbird paying off already.
Yeah, it's a good shutdown gold there for Envy over onto the Victor, and a nice rotation, nice play there. That was a crazy scout of the week, by the way. That was
great.
Really well done. Yeah, as unfortunately the solar flare is just a little bit too much for the Cinder to deal with. Something we haven't really talked about too much this game, and that we were pretty hyped for going in, was its top lane matchup. I feel like what really collapsed here for Furia was that Ranger was getting a lot of really good opportunities around the bot side and was not able to play around the Tryndamere in the early game like we had talked about, and that kind of led to this island up top lane where it was just Weiser and Gwen versus FMB and Tryndamere, and that matchup turned out to not be as good for FMB as he thought it would be, because the Gwen ended up freezing on him for like 5 or 6 waves. I don't know if you caught that, Lippy, up top side, just right outside their turret. And at the end, the kicker was Karaoke just running up like 9 minutes, getting the Rift Herald and taking his whole lane out, just not even wasting time there. And that's what we mean, folks, when we say these are some of the better teams in the league, is just the macro play is so concise, right? You go up, you take the Rift Herald early, you drop it top, you get a bunch of gold, you either get the turret or you force the enemy team to come fight you. In this instance, they just get the turret, they get the whole lane.
Absolutely, and combine that with the plays on the bot side, it's definitely looking good for paiN. They're up almost 2K by now, and you can see how hard Weiser is pressuring FMB in the top side so far. The Korean import doing a fantastic job. Damage is around as well, and FMB doesn't even ult. He just surrenders to his doom. Karaoke singing him the song of death, and it's going to be another pay kill for paiN. Pains me to say that.
Yeah, I mean, I predicted paiN to win this one. You can all check the Twitter feed for that one, but I think Fury favorite here. I mean, this is a really strong team, and seeing them go down like this leaves a bad taste in your mouth, right? Because these are some of the league's favorite players, even though they're not really native to this particular organization. Guys like FMB and Ranger have big followings, have a lot of fans, and it feels bad to watch them have to play a game like this. So.
Well,
Hopefully Envy can carry them to the end of the day here.
I was gonna say we are far from done with this game. I mean, with 16 minutes in, yes, it's looking pretty good for paiN. 5 to 3 kills, about a 2K gold lead currently, maybe almost 3K. That's quite nice, but in the end, we talked about it in Champ Select. It is a matter of hyper scaling characters, and we do have a bunch of scaling on both sides, but I'd say almost more scaling on the side of Furia. You have the Jinx, you have the Victor, and you have the Tryndamere, so that's definitely good for something once you get into the later stages of the game, but for now, you might have a little bit of a fight on the mid lane as Ranger goes in. That's Karaoke getting chunked low. The Jinx gets excited. There is Netuno finally making his mark on this game as he gets the first kill for himself. And that's going to net them a Herald. Furia very happy with this little skirmish.
I'm sure they are. I know I would be. They pick up an objective here that isn't a dragon. It's not the most useful objective, that post 14 Rift Herald, but hopefully it can help them break open a structure here. They've only got that bot lane turret, right? So hopefully that helps them out a little bit. But that dragon spawning in under a minute now. It's going to be the first of the Hextech dragons. Hopefully Furia have the map control to continue their dragon supremacy here.
And that's another win condition for Furia, right? If you get that Hextech Soul, that's a massive damage gain for your team fighting later on. You put an Elder Dragon on the map very, very early. So there is definitely aspects that speak for Furia having opportunities to come back into this game. And I'm super excited to see if they can pull it off.
I'm right there with you, Lithy. Looking forward to it. Less than a minute. Just a little bit now. You see the vision there, a lot of red stuff, but you can see that blue control art. Oh, there you go. Hook goes down on the FMB. He's safe though. He's going to eat out of there. Looking for the primary engage from the Leona. That solar flare from Redbird should be coming down right
fairly
now.
stacked up. There it is. Solar Flare goes down. Karaoke is caught up in it. The Chaos Storm does massive damage. And Furia sweep in, get the first kill, get Netuno excited. Wow. They pick up the third Drake. What a beautiful engage from Redbird. And the follow-up was crisp like a cookie. Looking great here. Furia coming back into this game, equaling it out to 5v5.
Wow.
Then Quedo almost gets caught up in his own jungle. We have a Herald, we have a third Drake, and we have a mid lane tier 1 likely to fall.
Oh, yeah. That's a great Herald, too, by the way. A lot of teams are going to drop that Herald before they go for the Dragon, try to pull one or two members out of the team fight from the enemy team to make that team fight a little bit easier. But if you hold on to it and you end up winning the team fight, it gets real deadly, right? Because there's no one there to stop you from just dropping the Herald. And they are going to get that mid-outer turret. They get the charge off on the inner turret as well. Lots of structural damage for Furia. And they get that third crucial dragon as well on the back end. A little bit more gold in the pockets of their carries, too. I think Netuno picks up that kill. Oh, boy. Yeah.
That's an interesting stopwatch right there. But
hey, as long as we're doing it at home and not on the international stage, it's okay. Everything's fine. No one has to talk about it.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I mean, you kind that kind of just adds to the list, right? Real chats win team fights, then pop Herald, and real chats pop stopwatch in the jungle with no one
Yep,
around.
with
But
no one
real chats
around.
also flash over the wall for dredge lines, and that is Damage's job right there. Beautiful choppers on the TP here as the Gwen enters the fight. Netuno on point with the Jinx mechanics. There's the rocket, gets him excited, gets another kill in his pockets, and every single fight breaks out paiN. Lose a member and have to pull back immediately. Furia just on point so far in these skirmishes.
They sure are. What a great fight there from Furia, able to turn that engage on its head. Great stuff. Damage has been doing so good with the engagements so far for his team. It feels bad that he's just not getting the follow up. I feel like is the
Yeah.
issue. And you talked about how Dunkato on Cinder was a really good pick potential pick, and just doesn't work in open field, open mid lane like that. Oh, Redbird over the wall.
Yeah.
Look at
There's
the
the
engage.
re-engage. They were waiting for this. They were waiting to turn the Baron on their heads, and they get rewarded with another kill. This time, Damage is the one to fall. The history of Nautilus dying first in the fights apparently carried on from the last game. But still, Baron at least cancelled. That's the only plus for paiN right now in this moment. But the gold lead they had is vaporized by now.
For sure, yeah. I mean, Furia is neck and neck now with paiN Gaming, and certainly caught up there. They don't get the Baron, but I don't think they were really going for that Baron. I don't think too many teams are going for Baron on spawn, right? So they do bait it out. They do get the damage down, and Redbird, just the playmaking from this guy is absolutely essential.
Yeah.
And he's got 6 assists here, Lippy. There's only like 12 kills in the game, so he's got like 50% KP over all the kills in the game, both sides, and he has 6 out of 7 KP of all the kills on his team. So just wild, really well done.
Yeah, I like what you did with the getting the damage down right there. That was good.
Oh yeah, no, he got the damage down.
But no, you're correct. 90% kill participation is pretty good, but that also speaks to how much of Furia's incentive in this game is coming from being group, fighting as a team, and getting things done with everyone around. And both Redbird and Envy have been instrumental to that. You mentioned it earlier, Envy being the one who kind of has to carry the ongoing team fights for them until they get back into the game, and he certainly did that, as Karyuk almost gets called out in his own jungle entrance. Kind of gets away for the moment. But once again, we're heading into that game state where we're kind of waiting for the objectives to respawn. It's another minute on the Hextech Dragon, and that is gonna be a massive turning point in this game. It's gonna be the sole point for Furia, so paiN need to throw everything at this fight to not get too far behind with a Hextech Soul for the enemy.
You cannot let these guys get that Hextech Soul. Oh, there we go. Big hook from Damage.
Yeah,
Ooh,
he
Ranger.
doesn't want to follow that out, though, but Ranger at least trades the Crescent Guard. That's a big CD out 25 seconds before the Dragon fight, and paiN is happy about trading a little bit of Nautilus HP for that one.
Here's the deal as well. I think Dunkato can delete Ranger there, but it goes back to what we were talking about. You only get one ult. Oh, there we go.
Speaking
Ranger
of deleting, there's Karaoke all caught out for a little bit. Furious FNB is sitting in the middle of the whole thing. At least it's the Trinomir who can just ult away. The needlework doesn't quite connect, but once again, that is the same thing as with the damage going in. You trade some HP, you trade some ultimates, but ultimately, it's gonna be Furia who are not in a position anymore to contest this Drake, and paiN steer that one away, preventing the Hextech Soul from going over to Team Red. Oh, maybe re-engage? There's the Solar Flare. Triago already caught out, but cleanses that one instantly. But still, Furia not relenting the pressure. They want to get that tier 2 turret and pick it up in a swoop. Once again, it's Netuno with the beautiful Flame Chompers to kind of initiate that whole pick.
And as disappointing it is that they don't get the Dragon Soul in here, this is how good teams abuse their advantages, right? You don't have to get the Dragon Soul at any individual dragon until the enemy team also has 3 dragons, right? It's just not. It's a great advantage for you, but there's nothing forcing you to go for it, right? It really is paiN who's being forced by Furia to go for these dragons, and all Furia has to do is take something more important across the map, to make it worth it for themselves. So if they sweep through the entire enemy jungle and get a mid inner turret for one dragon, when paiN Gaming previously had 0 dragons, that's a great play for Furia, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
you could fight to the death over the Dragon Soul. You could do that all day, and bad teams will do that when they face each other. Just kind of coin damage, and on Redbird, I don't know if you
Redbird.
that, buddy.
It's a 3v4. There's actually a TP from Wiser. They want to fight this. There's the pick from the Syndra. The Scatter the Weak goes in, and they pick up Redbird. Beautiful catch here from paiN. And that is so important to have in this state of the game. You are a little bit behind. You are behind in gold by now. You're behind in dragons. But finally, you have an angle to pressure a Baron. And that's going to be a dangerous 4v5 fight that Furia has to take here. But Ranger on the front line there, he'll be the one to go in. FNB on the side there with the Tryndamere looking for a fight already. Has to pop the ult, but damage has so much CC on him. Furia trying to pull out FNB with a flash over the wall. Ignite now is going to take him down. There is the Moonlight Vigil going in, but Trigo doesn't get anything. Once again, the Syndra Dinquedo gets the kill and pushes Furia out. Oh no, Trigo with another long-range snipe there. That's why you love Aphelios. That's why you love that ADC in the team fights. And he had the right guns to make it happen. paiN pull out almost a miracle fight.
Yeah, it was close there. Trigo wants to be careful where he's sticking his nose right now. I think he could be in danger. Here's that replay for you. Damage in onto Redbird. Maybe not the best decision for the Nautilus, but once he gets that follow-up, once his teleport comes through, 2, 1, there's the Gwen. And all of a sudden, you're kind of like, hey, I was safe before when it was just Nautilus, but now that it's Gwen and the Viego, things get a little dicier from me. He tried to flash that wall. Not the best flash, right? I think you want to flash towards your turret. Here's the replay continuing here of the fight.
What's important, they got the Chaos Storm on that pick earlier.
Yeah,
and he doesn't have any damage for this fight.
Here you go. Tryndamere pops the ultimate. They try to get the kill down to Wiser, but it goes gold and wastes so much time. Such a good usage there. But speaking of Wiser,
speaking of kills of Wiser, yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a Gwen in trouble. Hello, missed a little bit too late, I think, for the Solar Flare. Still trying to get away. He's dropping low incredibly fast, but that needlework heal is nothing to scoff at. Still taken down. Beautiful pick by Furia. It's a little bit too early to make use of that for the upcoming Drake fight because that's a minute 30 out, but still, they are happy to have that Gwen side lane pressure off of their chest for the moment.
110%. Tryndamere gets a kill there. Not the best, but primarily he's been forced onto this Mortal Reminder, and I think that's really slowing down his build here. You want to stack up the crit as much as possible, but it's a much needed injection of gold into the champion. Hopefully you can take the resetting and get some serious items out of that. I know one thing that is characterized the last several minutes has been FNB just trying to scrape gold from every single nook and cranny of the map that he can find. The guy's like just taken enemy raptors like 3 or 4 times in the last 10 minutes, just trying to get everything he can off of the map. Desperately trying to catch up with Wiser, who's had consistently like a 50-60 CS lead over the Tryndamere all game long. So he's trying to catch up. Takes the reset, gets the BF sword. I'll call that a win, Lithy.
Yeah, that's definitely a win. That's some good damage you can get in with that Tryndamere. But, of course, being behind so far against the Gwen is a definite detriment. But still, he's going to be back fairly quickly. Beautiful flank. Ooh. They get the pick. That's a Wiser caught way out of position. But they don't get the kill on the Gwen. He's still forced out quite a while. Ranger actually going in for some more pokes. And, yeah. Just now, earlier on the last Drake, we had paiN getting a pick and getting a free Drake. This time around, it's Furia getting a free Drake. And in their case, that is a massive pickup. Is the Hextech Soul, and they can just roll with that one into the next team fights, especially Netuno is going to be very happy to have that one, as paiN is trying to pressure the next Baron.
100%, yeah, and what we're seeing right now, this fight might break out, so I'll make this point later. They're walking into Vision now.
Redbird's damage on the front line. He's looking for the engage, at least to some extent. Ranger in the pit, Baron at 4k. Here goes the fight, deep in with the Redbird as he goes for the Zenith Blade. There's a pickup on damage. Furia is gonna fight this to their heart's content because Netuno has the first excited. There's the second one is Envy, picks up the second kill. Trigo pushed out, so is Wiser. Also also, Danquedo doesn't have any opportunity to stay here as FNB tries to hunt down the enemy ADC. There's a beautiful Gale Force. Big sword to the face as he picks up another kill for himself. The Baron also into the pockets of Furia, and everyone is very, very happy with this one as suddenly Furia finds the big steps back into the game.
And that's just great movement from Furia, great understanding of the game. When I'm a team pushing from Dragon Pit into the Baron Pit and I find a bunch of enemy control wards in the mid lane like that, what it says to me is, hey, they want to know how quickly I'm getting to this Baron because they're trying to rush it down, right? And a lot of teams are going to see that and think, okay, cool, we got to burn everything to get over this Baron to try and get it because they're about to take it down. No, Furia plays their time, says, you know what, we just got Dragon Soul. We got all the advantages in the world. If they get Baron here, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're just going to take our time, push nice and slow, send Redbird out first. They do everything right, play front to back, and get everything, all their cake, and they eat it too, Lithi. Very well played by Furia.
You love some good cake.
Oh, yeah. No, apparently so does Furia. They're eating all of it right now.
Definitely. Do you think it's chocolate or more like a red velvet, something along the lines?
Oh, this is red velvet. This is high quality cake. They shelled out for this one. They went to a real bakery.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's the good stuff for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can see the good stuff, right? You look at the wave control. They're pushing in bot lane. You have FNB controlling mid and top side. You have the wave crashing in on the tier 2 in any moment now. And they have to put, paiN has to put Wiser on side lane duty to get going there, to kind of keep that Tryndamere under control as the turret is taken down. There's an engage on the side. Redbird once again finds a pick. Beautiful damage on Karaoke. Wiser in the middle of that. The Gwen basically almost dead. There's the rocket. Doesn't quite land. That's some Matrix style dodging from Trigo there. Beautiful flash forward from Envy to push Dinquedo out of the fight as well. 2 inhibitors down. Furia very much healthy and excited to get to the further turrets. Depth charge on Netuno. Immediately his team with the meat shield wall in front of him to protect their ADC, and FNB pops the ult and he says, I'm done with your stuff. I'm gonna go ham now. And he does. They pick up a kill. They pick up 2 Nexus turrets, and the match of the week goes to Furia, and paiN sadly continue their sloppy start into the season with a 3rd loss in 4 games. But what a game that was.